and Dwayne Wade right at the body of Anderson Varejao. Welcome to your Kodak moment, Anderson Varejao. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Right.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. How important is this Gerald Green injury for the Rockets?
For the Rockets, I mean, it's not as big as it would have been, say, a year or two ago when he was essentially like their
savior.
their second best player off the bench,
Yeah.
and someone who could actually play small forward for them, and have an impact. But now, their small forward position is looking real weak. I love Daniel House, but
he can't take the whole.
he can't do everything. Exactly. And then they were going to need him more and more with this season, especially with the fact that they do not have that many plus defenders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you consider Russell Westbrook a plus defender anymore, but I think you can say he was a downgrade from Chris Paul, at least like defensive IQ wise.
Yeah.
And, James Harden, people keep saying, oh, how much he's improved defensively, but he's still definitely not a plus player defensively.
Yeah.
So you were really going to need those players who can guard guards.
Yeah.
And Gerald Green was one of them. And now if his foot injury is really as bad as the Rockets camp believes, that's dangerous.
Yeah. He could. They're saying he could miss the entire season.
Yeah. I mean, Eric Gordon has to step up. Eric Gordon is certainly a huge candidate for Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah, but I agree with you. He does need to step up.
Yeah, I mean, there's, as I said last week, there's a lot of teams where you can point out the flaw and immediately say, I don't know how they're going to fix this barring a trade or some massive development. And I think we're going to see probably the most moves at or before the trade deadline this season that we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
Because there's so many teams that are on the verge of title contention or at title contention and want to become prohibitive title contenders. And that all of them just need a little piece, a small thing to push them over. I think we're going to see maybe 14, 15 teams make first-round picks. Like below 20 different teams make first-round picks this year. Just because there's going to be so many flying around.
Yeah. Here's an interesting stat. For the preseason, the top three total points.
Yep.
James Harden with 103.
Giannis and Steph, right?
Nope. Zion.
Oh,
with
yeah.
93, and then Buddy Hield.
Oh, Buddy buckets.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to get that extension done. The Kings have two real important players that they need to get extensions done with sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Being Buddy Hield and Bogdan Bogdanovic. And we heard that for Bogdan, they were trying to get like 4 years, 53, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's a good amount of money for him. I mean, $13 million a year for a player of his level is probably an underpay on the open market.
Yeah.
Especially for all he can do as a shot creator, as a passer, even as a pick and roll ball handler. But he just doesn't get the coverage that most high level teams would get.
Right.
And I would say he was like the fifth best player on his team last year. Mm-hmm. And I think he could have a much bigger role wherever else he goes, blah, blah, blah. Uh-huh. But them having him gives that guard rotation so much more to work with.
Yeah.
And that's huge for a team that loves to run and is going to wear out stamina like the Kings are. Mm-hmm. And if you have more players that can play that style, you can just keep it moving. And that's exactly what the Kings want to do. And Bogdanovic is incredibly important for that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, everyone was making fun of the Kings for like giving out random contracts this offseason, but like Trevor Ariza fits that style. Dwayne Dedman is kind of what they need at center. It's a bit questionable. He's certainly an upgrade from Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
yeah,
who else did they bring in? The Corey Joseph signing was a bit strange to me, especially because, he's been a backup his whole career and hasn't even been a great backup at that.
Yeah.
Even for the Pacers last year, if I remember correctly, he was just a strong decent. Like, he didn't do anything great, didn't do anything well. And now I think they have him for like 2 or 3 years. So there were some moves that didn't make sense, but the Harrison Barnes move was a bit confusing. Especially when you would have thought like, hey, you got Ariza coming in and then you can just kind of chill.
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to play Marvin Bagley, Nemanja Bjelica, Trevor Ariza, and Harrison Barnes with only 2 forward spots? All of those players deserve 20-plus minutes.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
You think Bjelica deserves 20-plus minutes?
Bjelica was perfect for them last year. That floor spacing was a large reason why they were able to run. And his defense leaves a lot to be desired, and he's a very one-dimensional player. He's like a Ryan Anderson that will actually try on defense and won't just shoot it and can actually do something.
Yeah.
And is completely confident in his role, blah, 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 whatever, and will rebound. So he was huge for them last year. He was a very underrated pickup. I'm just questioning how well they're going to do with everything going on.
Right.